Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Living Astrology with Janet Hickox. Grab your cup of coffee, sit back, and let's chat about what is going on up in the sky. As you can see, I'm on the beach again today. I actually pulled my green screen across, which helps it stabilize the picture a bit. Still a little weird, but now I'm stuck with it because if I don't, it's going to look even weirder with the green screen behind me. So we're going to be on the beach for the morning's broadcast. I'm sure most of you don't have any issues with that, as the beach is a great place to be. It's return to winter here for the time being. Maybe the weekend will be nicer. So I'm enjoying seeing the palm trees swaying in the breeze and sitting back and relaxing with all of you. All I need is maybe a cocktail rather than coffee, but it's early in the morning. Coffee on the beach is just as fun, okay? So today is our new moon, and that will occur at 10:39 a.m. my time and 1:39 p.m. for those of you on the East Coast. I'm really looking forward to this new moon because it's jam-packed with such possibility. And yesterday we spent the morning talking about, from the astrological point of view, what does Gemini represent and what could we set our intentions for? What do we want to focus manifesting during this new moon, which is what the new moon is all about, right? It's about manifesting. Today, we're going to take it a little bit deeper. It's Friday, so we also want to spend some time doing readings today. So today, we're going to talk about what does it look like? What does the new moon look like if we put on the lenses of human design and the gene keys? And what does it mean if we look at it through the Pleiadian-Earth energy of the day? And when we look at it that way, some other interesting energies kind of pop out. So I was kind of excited to share that with you. We'll get into that in just a minute because we're not to the new moon yet. So we have some moon energy to talk about before we get there. And today, like I said, that new moon doesn't happen until 10:39. So in the next couple of hours, we still have a trine to Jupiter and Saturn by the moon to deal with before we get to the conjunction to the sun, which, don't forget, that's what the new moon is, right? The moon conjuncts the sun. And then just after the new moon, we have a square to Mars from the moon. And that is going to set the tone, so to speak, for the upcoming weekend. So I'm hoping I'm actually live on, yes, I am. Okay, I see myself. Let me put that there. Good morning, Sarah Raven's Eye. Good morning, Deb Johnson. Tom Wright, Shark Runaway. There's no shark. Amy, good morning. Sarah says, I actually have time today. I normally work nights and I have been working through this whole pandemic as a projector, but I miss joining everyone. Beautiful beach. I know it does look beautiful and inviting. I'm going to try to do something this summer. I noticed my friend Amy, who has that meditation, 30-day meditation course working, has been doing some of her broadcasts from our beach down here. And she has a lapel mic that she's using that during the broadcast. And I want to try that and see if that will work, because then I can be on my front deck. I could be in my on the beach. I could be in the front yard. I could be anywhere I wanted to be and share my morning with you. Good morning, Elisa and Marissa. Tom says coffee on the beach is like sex on the beach, lots of sand in your mug. Oh my gosh, unless you live in the Pacific Northwest where the beaches aren't really sand, they're rocky. Laura Hammer, good morning. And Sue, perfect backdrop. It's Andrew Scott. Good morning to you. And Sue says good morning. And Debbie Tibbetts Tumiel, good morning. And it's great to see everybody. So let me go back to Zoom for a minute and chat about what the meaning is of the moon in Gemini in a trine to both Jupiter and Saturn. So it's kind of interesting to me because these two planets, Jupiter and Saturn, represent sort of polar opposites, where Jupiter represents the expansive principle and how we broaden our horizons, while Saturn talks more about how we focus our energy and constrict or contract to a focal point. So one is expansive by nature and optimistic, and the other one is more constricted or limited in its focus. But we need both, right? If you don't have a solid foundation by having taken the time to build that in a solid way, then you can't support the expansion, right? So if we didn't have the foundation of a house and the walls and all of the things that they construct to support the roof would fall. We would not have a house for very long. And indeed, that's kind of what these two planets bring to us. So when the moon, which represents our emotional self, our timing issues, and also our soul or our inner self, we have a possibility that the right timing begins to coalesce for us. In other words, if you've been waiting for something, it may appear today. If you have been waiting to have an opportunity, it may show up in some way today or even into the next few days. And the patience that you've shown, or the way that you've held the line and held a positive outlook, is going to be what drives how successful those things are in coming to you or being attracted to you. So I've already had something huge happen for me this morning that is incredible. And I love that. And it was because I was diligent in following up, and I was patient, and I had to make a covenant with myself that just said, I'm going to be open. However this shows up, whenever this shows up, I'm going to be okay with that. And so that has helped me a lot in being patient. So our patience is going to pay off, hopefully today, tomorrow, or the next day, as we really fully more move into that new moon window. Now, after the new moon, there's always that caveat, right? There's always that balancing act over here on the other side. The moon will move into a square to Mars, and that means that the moon in Gemini will be squaring Mars in Pisces. Mars in Pisces is already not very happy, right? He's slowed down. He's not thrilled in water. He kind of has a lot of spinning of his wheels, if you will, trouble trying to get things going, up and running. So there's a possibility that we are also going to be faced with duality or polarity energy over these next few days. Why not? It's Gemini energy, right? So on one hand, good things may be happening and in the right timing. And then on the other hand, the things that we really wanted to have happen aren't happening. And why is that? And we may be going back and forth between those two. So again, it's all about our being patient, being present in this moment where everything is well, right? Everything is fine. So if we take a look now at where the new moon sits in terms of your human design chart, then we get a better picture perhaps of what the energies are that this new moon will be bringing to us. So I'm going to share my screen here and show you guys what the chart looks like. Oops, share screens. Oh, I can't share my screen. No. Okay, hold on here. No, I'm just being dumb. There we go. Now you should be seeing the human design chart for the day. And look what we see. We are all playing manifestor generator today, where the Earth is sitting at the gate 34 and the sun is sitting up here at the gate 20. It is at the gate 20 that the sun-moon conjunction will take place. And if you look here, the moon is already close to it. It's at the gate 20 already, waiting for the, oh, you're not seeing my screen. I'm seeing, okay, hold on. Stop sharing for a moment. I'm going to change to no virtual background. So for a minute, you're going to see the ugly green screen. And there's that. Now, if I share my screen, will you see it? No. Oh my. Huh. What is going on? Are you guys, Terry, are you seeing my screen, my green screen? Of course, he's not listening.
You're doing your chart right now.
Do you see the chart or do you see a green screen?
I see a chart.
Oh, you guys do see the chart. Okay, well, that's awesome. Whew, thank you. So if you take a look at the chart, then what we're seeing here is the gate. Am I still sharing? Nope. There we go. Oh, no. Those little Gemini monkey screens. Okay, so now you are looking at the human design chart for the day. And this is important because it sets the tone for where the moon and sun are going to be coming together in their conjunction. So the gate 20 is on the throat center. And the throat center, as we know, is where we want to get the energy, right? This is where we're trying to bring all the energy up from the lower parts of the human design, and where we want to bring the head center energy down to the throat, because it's the center for communication and manifestation. So this is where our dreams come true, right? This is where things become real, where they come out of the imaginal and into the real realm. So the gate 20 is a very important gate in that. It is where, particularly for people who are manifesting generators, it is where their integrity is by taking right action. If you'll notice that it is the direct connection of your sacral energy right up to the throat center. And when that happens, you have a clear channel directly up there so that you can manifest in real time very quickly. And the problem with that is that manifesting generators have a tendency to be very busy. So all of us now acting like manifesting generators can be very busy. We can be leaping into things and doing a lot of different things that are not necessarily the right things for us. So here we want to be careful. The integrity of that gate happens when we take right action, even if it takes us against the flow. So if everybody's moving toward the cliff, and you're the one that's moving away from the cliff, you're doing that because it's the right action for you. And that right action comes about because this is the need to respond to what is showing up in your outer world. So this gate works best at the throat because it's pulling in this energy from the gate 34, the sacral. It works best when there's something outside of you that you are responding to, right? So this particular moon then can be the voice for change in your life. It can be a change for empowering you. It can be also treated as more stagnant and disempowering energy. It's all going to depend on how you respond to what is showing up in your world. If what is showing up in your world is the need to rest and relax and to have downtime, and you don't follow that, then you risk blowing out your energy or burning out. If you are being shown these opportunities in your outer world and you're meant to take action on those things, then not doing that would create the stagnant energy. So it's for a change, for empowering. Now, having said that, 70% of you out there get this because you're generator types. But I still have projectors, manifestors, and reflectors out there going, wow, so what do I do? Well, first and foremost, you always follow your own strategy. The projectors wait for invitations. The reflectors are waiting for the full cycle of the moon before they make big decisions. And manifestors are initiating things based on whatever their creative impulses are, and then informing the people that are going to be affected by those decisions. So even though this modifies your personal energy, it doesn't overwrite it. So just because suddenly you have access to manifesting generator energy doesn't mean that you've become a manifesting generator. But it does mean likely invitations and opportunities are going to be showing up faster and also in a more profound way for you. Now, the gate 20 itself carries inherent wisdom. And the wisdom in this particular gate is about when to wait and when to take action. In the I Ching, this is the representation of the king at the top of the mountain, and he's surveying everything, right? And he knows exactly that this is the time to hold, and he'll also know exactly when it is the time to take action, and through response. And what we mean by response is that when something shows up, whether it's an invitation or it's something in your outer world, that you are making sure that you're responding to that as an opportunity and not going out and forcing your way into something. In other words, you can't just make invitations show up. You can't just make opportunities show up. Although somebody yesterday in a reading I was doing said, but yeah, the world says to go out and get yours, right? The Nike swish that just do it. But most of us are not there to do that. Manifestors maybe, but the rest of us not. And there's only 8% of the population out there maybe that is designed to do that. So the bulk of us are in either waiting for the invitation, we are waiting for the moon, or we are waiting for something to respond to. So here, this particular week, this particular new moon teaches us about being in the right place at the right time with the right opportunity. And when we connect that way, it is amazing what happens, the magic that happens. And if you look at this chart, you see this is a very busy chart anyway, right? This throat center is connected to by the gate 10 up to the 20. That's our little Buddha channel, where we can, with our words, smooth the pathway for people to feel empowered, to feel recognized, valued, and heard. Or on the other end, if we are not being in response, if we're reacting, then we may hurt people with our slicing and dicing of the words, or be at the receiving end of somebody else's unconsciousness in the way that they use words as cutting instead of empowering. So that's sort of an admonishment here to be very careful about how we're using our words this weekend. And even for these next few weeks, as we move into this new moon period, this is the energy that's sort of being imbued into us at this moment. So it may even last until the next new moon, as we're also dealing with Gemini energy, the communication sign. So what are our words doing, right? Are they empowering ourselves, or are we undermining our own manifesting? Are we undermining our own feelings of self-worth by the way that we self-talk? So self-talk and the way we talk to one another, extremely important in this new moon window. Now, this is also a gate, by the way, the 20, that recognizes the right use of resources. It sort of looks and sees somebody's talents and their gifts and has the right opportunity for them. So we can all sort of act as little way showers for one another right now, opening up those pathways for other people and their opportunities. So for example, I know a lot of manifesting generators that are like this. They know exactly who to go to fill the need of a job or a position or some other need within a group. So right now we all have that sort of ability. We can even tell better what our own gifts and talents are and what it is that we're not so good at, and help keep ourselves out of the things that we're not so good at and push ourselves or be pulled into the things that we really are good at. So right use of resources by recognizing what our gifts and our talents really are, and recognizing the gifts and talents in other people. Now, this gate itself is called the gate of power and charisma. Well, this is power, excuse me, and this one is charisma. So power and charisma, and how do we use those in the world? I bet we've all could think of examples of people who lead with power and charisma, and how we respond to people who are leading by that kind of example. And then we also have examples of people who are pushing for power, who are doing power grabs, or who are forcing us into a sort of dictatorship, or pushing, and that kind of pushing of power and charisma is a repelling force rather than an attractive force. So it pushes people away or pushes the energy away rather than inviting it in. So again, we are sort of shown here in our human design that we're really meant to be more of a democracy, where we are always responding to what is showing up, and we use power and charisma as an attractive force rather than a forcing of ourselves outward onto others. Now, I wanted to read to you, did I put the book away? Of course I did. That was really silly. I'm going to stop sharing my screen because I want to read something to you, and I got to go back to my virtual background because that green is ghastly. Let's go back to the beach. We could go somewhere else, but since I started with the beach today, let's do that. So I wanted to read to you from my human design. You can't see it because of the green screen. Understanding Human Design book. I just happened to go looking for some specific information this morning, and I found a great quote that this is the book written by Karen Curry Parker. This is on page 152 of the book, where it is talking about the energy of the gate 20. And here's what it says. I quote, True power lies in waiting for right timing, the right recognition, and preparing while you wait. People with this gate should take some time to align their desires, actions, and mindset. Plant the garden of your mind with the right seeds of thought and fertilize with faith, trust, and knowingness. Let divine order prevail. Gate 20 promises that not only will the right chances materialize, but the right people will also be joined together in the process. That is the promise of the Gate 20, and also the promise of the Gate 20 with a new moon right there for us to just, it's tantalizingly close. Don't give up your dream, right? Stay the course. So I wanted to share that with all of you. Okay, so going over to YouTube, what's everybody saying out here? Okay, so I get it. Okay, thank you guys. I was on and you could see the screen. I love that. Deborah Johnson, hurry up and wait. Yeah. Sarah says, sweet Andrew. There must be some comments I'm missing here. DTT, my chart, both are open. What does that mean? Gates 20 and 34. Yeah, they would be open, Debbie Tibbetts Tumiel, because you're a projector. If you had those two gates defined, it would be that you were a manifesting generator. So what you have is temporary access to manifesting generator power. So that's basically what I was saying. Remember that right now we all have easy access to responding to what is showing up into our outer world. We all have a lot of energy available to us at this point in time, but you are still a projector. Even though this energy is prevalent, you're still that projector that needs to wait for the invitation, but you have a lot of energy available in the short term for the next few days to be able to take action on those things that you are invited into or the things that you are responding to in your outer world. You just need to realize that that's not meaning that you're going to have this energy for all the time, right? It's just now, just for this moment. Okay, so thank you for Terry for telling me what was going on in my chart. Debbie, I hope that you understand that. It says, she says, thank you, good. Okay, now I want to go on to some other very powerful energies that are playing out today. Then I'm going to, before I do that though, I'm going to read us the story of the Gate 20. Let me go back to Zoom because I want to make sure. Oh boy, I'm going to have to stop the pretty background for just a moment, because I want to be able to show you guys this card. Here is the card for the Gate 20. Doesn't he look fun? The Gate 20 is the gate of self-assurance in the gene keys. That's what the gift would be. And if you look at his forehead, he's got all kinds of fun stuff going on. Love the mustache and the tattooing in the background. I can't tell exactly. It looks like hearts. There are a bunch of hearts joined together. And this is the energy of the Gate 20. So let me read the story to you and go back to our virtual background now. And here we go. Okay, so the Gate 20 is the gift of self-assurance. The shadow is superficiality, and the siddhi is presence. As you begin to accept that life has its own plans and flow, you also begin to stop interfering with the process at a mental level. Ever since I could hold a bow in my hand, I envisioned my career as a violinist. When other children played in the grass, I played my scales. My mind was constantly thinking about the future, planning my next piece, where I'd play, and whom I'd impress. Once I began performing, my mind was consumed with either obsessions about the next performance or agonizing regrets over the last one. While my music moved people to tears, it just kept me moving. I was always on my way from here to there, living on airplanes and stages. I knew the music so well, I didn't even have to listen. I could worry about my next flight without missing a note. Sometimes, after a concert, surrounded by fans, my eyes would glaze over as if I were absent. But most of the time, I was as hectic as a hiveless bee, constantly checking, calling, texting, practicing, scheduling, traveling, performing, and traveling again. I was lost in a life of success and superficiality. This is exactly what we mean by manifesting generators are busy, busy, busy all the time. Until one day, I was stranded in an airport with thousands of people waiting for me in another city, all because of a lousy storm. In a rage, I roared, throwing my briefcase onto the floor and sending hundreds of loose sheets of music into the air. The strangest thing happened. As they cascaded like snowflakes in the room, I started laughing hysterically. Soon the people around me joined in. Before I knew it, I picked up my violin and started playing just for fun. It felt like a symphony of angels were playing through my instrument. Tears of joy streamed down my face. I had never been so present. The spirits of everyone were lifted, and from that moment on, I knew that everything was going to be okay. My gift to you. I come to bring you great relief. Your mind may be busy telling you what to do. That's okay. But for the moment, I invite you to smile tenderly at your sweet, worried mind and know that everything is going to be all right. Right now, there is nothing to do, nothing to make happen, nothing to worry about, nothing to regret, not in this moment. Just take a deep breath and know that your life is in the hands of something far greater than you could ever imagine. Even if you can't feel it at one with this moment, you are absolutely here right now. I promise you. Rejoice in the wonder of presence, and genuine self-assurance will be your reward. Now, here are the questions for contemplation. And I'm going to post these later, post questions. All right. So do you feel absent from your life? Like you're going through the motions, but you're not really there? Does it feel impossible for you to slow down? Are you afraid of what might happen or what you might feel if you dropped all of that hectic activity? In what situations and with whom do you find it easy to be present, which are more challenging? And spend a few minutes in front of a mirror. Look in your eyes. Is anyone home? See if you can become even more present. Can you find a way to relax? See if you can notice the thoughts and feelings that arise as you look into your eyes. Write what you learn from this experience in your journal. Woohoo! That's a good one, right? A great reminder, a great ending for our talk on the gate 20. All right, now, next I want to talk about the 3 big transits that are happening today and will be activated for us through the entire weekend, with one more that activates on Sunday that we'll talk about here in just a moment. Today we have Mercury in a conjunction to Venus retrograde. And so that makes this a day to express love and to show appreciation for everyone in your life, for everything you have. Just show appreciation. But it is also, because this is duality, right? This is a day for you to be in the giving of that, but also to be on the receiving end of love and appreciation. This is a great day to do that because Venus in retrograde brings us back to those values that are so important for us. Mercury is about the voice and how we speak to that in our lives. So showing appreciation, receiving that, showing love and receiving love. This is also a highly artistic and creative coming together of energy. And it is a good time to find bargains, but buyer beware. Remember what we talked about with Venus retrograde. Sometimes our vision is so clouded by by our desire for something that we fail to see the warning signs about what it is that we are looking at, what's not right with it, or, what problems might there be. So while bargains are abounding, make sure that the bargain isn't a lemon before you actually purchase something. So that's our Mercury conjunct Venus retrograde. Take advantage of that creative and artistic energy now, right? It's there. It's very powerful. And the next one is Sun trine Saturn. So the Sun trine Saturn is kind of a mirror image of the Moon trining Saturn today. So the Moon trining Saturn is followed by the Sun Moon trining Saturn. So we have both of them in effect. So we're focusing our energy during this new moon on achieving our goals, but in a balanced way, right? Saturn is like the little bit of the brake pedal here that stops us from just going all in, rushing headlong into things that maybe are not correct for us. So Saturn acts as the balance while the sun and the moon are pushing us into something new, something extraordinary, something different, a metamorphosis kind of energy, but with a little bit of a break here, the brake, like the brake pedal, B-R-A-K-E, of Saturn. And this is because Saturn right now is holding the wisdom and the knowledge that is going to be passed on to us through maybe somebody that we come into contact with, maybe something we learn about online. So if we're pushing headlong, if we're forcing ourselves into something, we may miss this one key piece of information that we need in order to make the progress smoothly. And instead, then we miss out the opportunity or it blows up on us. So here we have this grand time to really hold our own counsel and to wait for all of the signs in the outer world to point us into the right direction, into the right timing, and into the right opportunity and the right gathering of people. Achievement, recognition, promotion, all the results of a job well done may be forthcoming here as the sun coming into contact with Saturn brings us the results of our good deeds or our good works or our being patient, of our staying the course, right? And it doesn't mean that just it's in effect today. Remember, this is in effect at the new moon. And that means it carries us throughout the whole new moon window and on beyond up until the next new moon, which will be in Cancer. So we have this, maybe 30-day period of time where this can really be showing up in our world, achievement and that kind of recognition, the job well done, the pat on the back, those kinds of things. So this shows us that this new moon is a time to be patient and a time to see to the details of things. Saturn likes the details. It's a very detail-oriented position, but we also have that trine with Jupiter that's activated. So we have the ability to see the big picture, but also to have the patience to wait through going through all of the steps that it takes to get to where we want to go. Now, there's one little fly in the ointment of this new moon, and it's really not a horrible one, but it can distort things, and that is Mercury in a square to Neptune. So we had Mercury in a conjunction to Venus, but we also have him squaring Neptune. And that square to Neptune is where we can, our thinking, our reasoning power, our mind can be distorted. Even our communication can be distorted where we're not quite able to think clearly. Neptune always adds that element of that disorientation, of that unclarity, right? So we have to be very careful that we don't jump to conclusions, that we are not using our mind in a very weaponized sort of way against ourselves or against other people. If you are in a position of giving or receiving instruction for something, write notes, right? Write notes, speak to it in a step-by-step progression, as we may not understand the directions being given to us, because why? Other people may not be able to tell us instruction in a very coherent way. And to them, it may sound very coherent, very stepwise, very clear, but you're receiving it through a veil or through some kind of fog bank, and you're not hearing them correctly. And so we have to be very clear so that we don't get confused, and that we understand even the contracts that we're signing. So when I said buyer beware earlier with the Mercury and Venus retrograde, like buying a car right now, kind of iffy. But if you are forced to do it for some reason, make sure you're reading the contract clearly, that you completely understand what the price is and what the cost is. This reminds me a bit of a Mercury retrograde where our thinking isn't clear, our communication isn't clear. Owing to Neptune here, things may not be clear. And so in that case, we might either be on the receiving end of somebody's lies or somebody's white lies, right, where they're just kind of skimming the truth, not telling it all like it is. And so we here have a chance to really stay into the truth and make sure we're not the ones that are propagating any white lies or little lies, that we're not behaving scandalously, that we're not doing things we wouldn't normally do. I would steer clear of drugs and alcohol at this particular point in time, just because they would just add to the confusion and the weirdness of it. What can you do with a Mercury square Neptune? Dance, read poetry, recite poetry, make music, do the creative dance, right? The creative energy, do some art, do something that is more imaginative and creative. Probably not a good day to start a new project, even though we'll have the new moon energy with us later. Just wait until maybe tomorrow. Then we're out of that Mercury square Neptune. Or just be very clear that you may have some changes that need to happen along the way because of that distortion in the Neptune field. Okay, questions, comments, what's going on over here? Kamal, good morning to you. And I wish I had a lock of hair like that. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Terry. The gates, okay, I got to go backwards, I guess. Here we go. And the energy from gates 2034 will last until the next new moon. That would be the overlay of it, I would say. I would say it would be more the energy from the gate 20, not the 34. And the gate 20 being activated by the new moon, and the Earth being at 34, it's going to pass through that gate. And so we have the primary power of that energy for the next 4 days. Let me give you the date exactly. Through the 26th. But then through the entire window of the new moon, we have the energy of the gate 20. And, you know, it's like anything else. It's not going to supersede or override your own natal chart. It's an enhancement to it, right? It would be like a decoration that's added to the game of your human design. Hope that helps, Marissa. So again, it may even be the thing that distracts you from living out your true strategy and your true authority. So be aware of that as well. Tom, new moon, feeling tense, frustrated for a couple of days. Any thoughts? Well, that would be likely because we're closing out that long-term Taurus energy that we've been focused on. And anytime we come to those shift points, right, where we are moving from the focus of one energy into another, we may find that we have things left over to do from that energy. But for us, Tom, we also have, as Geminis, we also have that North Node putting pressure on us at 29 degrees of Gemini. So as more planets were entering into Gemini, it could be dragging up some of that energy as well. So it's maybe that frustration in that it's time for you to do something, but the signs aren't there yet, or the opportunities aren't there yet. So relax, go do something else, play music, get your guitar out. Sue needs a cup of tea. I wish I had a lock of hair like that. Debbie Tibbetts, if you are pulling any cards, I would like one, please. Whatever deck you wish. I'll start making my list, although I still have the Pleiadian energy to talk about. Deb TT. Kamal, Janet, remember last new moon, I made a wrong decision and I'm still suffering from it. Hope this new moon opens up new ways for me. So let's talk about suffering for a minute, Kamal. In this life, in human design, we have the energy of fight. We have the energy of struggle. We have the energy of failure. We have the energy of a lot of things, but we have no energy for suffering. So suffering is a choice where struggle and failure and these other kind of perfection and criticism and all these kind of things are energies that are truly there for us to live through. And the only true freedom you have, Kamal, is in how you react or respond to what's showing up in your world. So yeah, you made a mistake, right? You made a wrong decision. The best thing for you to do is say, just acknowledge that to yourself. I made an incorrect decision. But I would also put it out there that you did not make a wrong decision, because now in retrospect, you can look at that and you can see where maybe your thinking went wrong, or what you were responding to or reacting to instead of responding to. So everything that happens for us and everything that we think happens to us has juice there for us. It has some meaning for us, some lesson for us to take away. It is not an open invitation for you to suffer through it. So I would just say, yes, I made that. Let yourself off the hook. Have some compassion and do what you can to make another decision. The best decision you can make now is to allow yourself to move forward and to release yourself from that responsibility of that decision, right? It's there, you made it, you do not need to suffer through it, right? And I don't know what the situation was exactly, but the new moon always offers up new possibilities and new ways of being. So definitely something that might be possible. But again, since I don't know what the situation is exactly, it's up to you to decide here. How are you going to show up in the world with this? What are you going to do about it? Amy, oh, hope this won't apply to my new bargain swimming suit coming in today. Well, you know what? That's a pretty minor expenditure. So if you were talking about your bargain swimming pool coming in, that might be a different story. But a bargain swimsuit, likely you could replace that easily enough if it was a problem. But hopefully it's all that you thought it was going to be. Sarah, my Gemini moon is in my third house of Taurus, but Gemini is also a cusp with Taurus in my fourth, and Gemini rules my fifth house. What does that mean? Well, you have a lot of Gemini energy crossing through a lot of different houses, through the house of communication and the mind, through the house of home and family and building that foundation. And then with the fifth house, having fun and play and being creative. So my guess is that a part of you, Sarah, needs to be very responsible for building a strong foundation. That's going to help you feel secure. It's going to help you feel like you have a launching pad from which you can go out in the world and explore and discover and follow your threads of curiosity. So don't forget to have that basis, that foundation, those roots first, and then you'll have that exploration ability. It's almost like having a little bit of a tether, a grounding rod that is always going to be able to allow you to come back to where you belong, to have the strength of that foundation to be able to go out and do what you want to do. Okay. So Marissa, today plan, and then tomorrow take action on the plan. Oh, good. I like that. And, but again, keep checking in with yourself. Do I have clarity here? Especially if you're emotionally defined as well. Marissa wants a goddess card. Marissa, goddess. That's fun to write. Marissa, goddess. Kamal is getting hugs from Marissa. Goddess card, please. Deb Johnson. All right, you guys, you're jumping the gun on me here. But I want to get to this. Okay, Amy. Wise, love that. Deb, be kind to yourself. Kamal, Augustina, I love hearing your advice. Thank you. Thank you from my heart. Kamal, thanks everyone. There is good time waiting for it. Just be patient. Create it. You could create it too. You could create your own good time. Ursula, I would love a Woto, Ursula, Woto. And okay, good. Now, let's talk quickly about the Pleiadian-Earth energy. Today is, well, I know I wrote that somewhere here. Today I had a 2-pager, right? All of the front and almost all of the back. Friday, today we have 9 feeling energy. 9 is about harmony. It is about a day of peace and cooperation and harmonizing. So things need to come into that harmony, and following your heart is the way to find harmony, right? It's the seeking the highest and best for all, including yourself. And that leads us down that road to harmony. The feeling day, remember, is all about emotion. So being fluid and flexible, understanding that emotions are, sort of up and down. Respond to life's opportunities or challenges, but don't react, right? So respond, but don't react. Not reacting to those old patterns or thoughts or behaviors from the past. Kamal, I know you're still really young. You're just at your first Saturn return. So this is a very good lesson for you to take forward for you now in learning how to be in response to what's showing up. You do not have to default back to those old ways of thinking or those old ways of feeling and those old patterns of behavior. Choose new beliefs, choose new patterns, choose new ways of thought, thinking, and new behaviors. That's favored now. Saturday, we come to the 10. That is a manifesting number. So it's interesting. We're one day off sort of from the new moon, but the new moon's powerful no matter how you slice it. Timing wise, though, might be better on Saturday. It is a day of devoting. So it speaks to loyalty and what are you loyal to? And is it misplaced loyalty or is it true loyalty? Sunday, the brightest day of the weekend. It's an 11 illuminating day. It is illumination, illuminating. So I called it the light bright day, right? This is the best day of the weekend for shining. Now, of course, some people may not see it that way. You know, what's revealed to you may not be something that you really like to hear about yourself or about what you're doing. But trust me when I say that Sunday brings us the potential for that very powerful spotlight to be shined into our lives in very positive ways. Even if it's showing you something negative, it can show you also the way out of that and the next best step for you to make. Now, also on Sunday, Mars will be in a sextile to Uranus. Mars is dynamic action. Uranus is surprises and shocks. And along with this new moon window and with that illuminating light bright, there may be some surprising things that come up, surprising opportunities even. Maybe there's something that is shocking to you that comes up for us over the weekend, but I feel like it's a positive one. Now, there you have that. Okay, let's do some card reading, shall we? Debbie Tippett's Tumiel. She told me my choice. I'm going to pull Woto, and that's because I'm going to use that. And let me grab my goddesses. They're way over here this morning. They're always the hardest ones to reach. There, bigger box. I keep all of my cards in boxes because I like to have them protected. I don't mind using them, but I like to have them, you know, protected from all the energies that, you know, are in a room. Okay, so Debbie, Woto. Is there something serious going on for you, Debbie? I feel like this is oh, wow. So something already fell out. Okay. Round and round, number 25. All right, Debbie. So we have three cards for you. So we have a story for Debbie today. Ooh. Ooh, oh, oh. Okay, so the first card that popped out for you, Debbie, was Round and Round. And this is from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. I'm going to close that. The Wisdom of the Oracle deck. Oh, God, I might have to close out my screen. Hold on, guys. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to see the cards. So change to a none background. So you're going to have to live with the ugly green screen. But here we can see the card Round and Round. It was in upside down mode or protection. So if we turn it around, you see it's like the conch shell going round and around. It's a 25, which is a 7. So we have a very spiritual energy here in protection. The second card that came out was the card 33, also upside down, Chaos and Conflict. And it was upside down. So maybe something chaotic in your life straightening out. And the last card, interesting, it doesn't feel like it fits, but it is the Soulmates card, number 41. Let's see what these cards mean for you in this little story. So Round and Round was card 25 and 25 in protection. And so the general meaning of the card for those of you who are new to this deck is the spiral quality of events when a lesson isn't quite integrated, cycles you were challenged to break, revisiting a pattern from a new perspective. Here we go. Are you refusing to see your own personal responsibility for repeating lessons you don't need to relearn? You have to surrender now to the fact that you are the common denominator in all these repeat performances. Be happy, for this is a wonderful spot to be in. You can now see the cycles that you wish to exit. Once you figure out that you have the power to stop going round and round, you possess the key to your freedom. Be good to yourself. It's not about blame, but accountability. And you can have the abundant life filled with love and prosperity that Spirit so wants for you. And the second card, Chaos and Conflict, was number 33, also in protection mode. And that card's meaning is disarray, being at cross purposes with another, the tension of opposites, and the value of chaos before order. Okay, and the message says, this is an advantageous moment to restore order and recognize the opportunity for negotiation. Even in the seeming chaos, there is a kind of divine order, a complete resorting of elements. This is powerful. If your intention is to find the best solution for the highest good of all, there is positive news. The timing is perfect. Things are already stirred up, so don't be afraid to jump into the mix. You'll discover everything you need to know about how the situation affects you long term. Be present in the eye of the chaos. This moment is valuable. Don't waste it. That sounds pretty cool too, Debbie. And the final card in the story was Soulmates, 41, and it was upright. So let's see what that means. Well, I guess we could guess what that means. The essential meaning, harmonious partnerships, love, friendship, companionship, a relationship fostering personal growth. And the message says you are meant to evolve and transform with the companionship of others. Certain people enter into your life in order to take you to the next level of healing, consciousness, and authenticity. It is always a reciprocal experience, although the results for each of you will vary. You know these people by the strong pull drawing you toward them, and sometimes by a strong aversion to them initially too. Soulmates can be friends for life or remain in your life for only a short time. No matter what, you will be changed in ways you can't possibly fathom now. Pay attention to these people today. They are your greatest gift. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Deb. Those are pretty powerful cards if you ask me. Okay, Marissa, goddess. Here they are. And let's see what comes up for you. Okay. Oh my goodness gracious. Are y'all going to have stories today? Because that's what this looks like here. A story for you as well. These are all in alignment mode, as in they all came out just like this, upside down. And they are in order. Green Terra, which speaks to salvation, number 8. Then Hecate, the in-between, card number 19. And Hecate, and she's beautiful. And then the third one that pulled out was Ishtar, Communion, card number 23. But again, these ladies were all in alignment messages for you. So let's see. I'm thinking these are new cards for us too. I don't believe we've had these before, which is good. I like exploring the new. Green Terra, card 17, in alignment. So here you go. Green Terra, known as She Who Saves, is here to remind you that salvation is contingent on your willingness to release your ego conflicts and surrender your wants and unmet desires to the divine. Do you find yourself swimming in a nagging spiral of dissatisfaction? Are you comparing yourself to others and always coming up short? Do you feel entitled to the manifestation of your wants arriving in the only form that you will accept? When you are suffering from longing and wanting, you are like a hungry ghost that will never be fed, blind to the opportunities that are truly yours. Never fear. Just as a true friend will let you know when you're off track, Green Terra will let you know when you're out of alignment. She will save you from the destructive qualities of hubris, entitlement, and elitism, as well as the consciousness of lack with the following alignment task. Get right with yourself and the world again. First, know that you are exactly where you need to be right now, and if that means empty for a time, that is perfect. Instead of looking at what isn't there, bless every tiny aspect of your life with deep gratitude. Green Terra will show you that the world is your friend, and you've been fighting against yourself. You will then recognize the earth as a place of joy and abundance. Love it. And then number 19, Hecate, also in an alignment message, says, she was the in-between. There are times when you find yourself stuck between worlds, unable to go back to the way things were, and afraid to move forward without knowing what you're facing. This indecision can be crippling, but you can't stay forever in the in-between. The goddess Hecate offers you a sacred alignment task. Make a move. It doesn't matter if you stumble or fall. After all, you can always course correct. Bring love to the part of you that is afraid and that has lost faith. Remember, you are not alone, as the goddess Hecate will never abandon you in the dark, nor will you remain there for long. Consider as you move forward through life the sacred challenge of trusting the magic that happens, or trust the magic that makes this world and your part in it sing with meaning. Don't be afraid to step into the dark. The goddess Hecate will raise her torch and show you the way out. Woo! All right, card number 23 was Ishtar, and Ishtar is about communion, but also in an alignment message for you. When you refuse to see the signs, it can ultimately take you down a path you really don't want to be on. When red flags indicate something is not quite right, it's not a sign to jump in with both feet. It says, this is not for you, or this is not yet, or this is yet to be revealed. If you choose to move forward stubbornly, you could find yourself back in an old lesson you'd rather not face again. When you are attached to an outcome and unable to see another option, you might say, the oracle said this wasn't in my best interests, but I am going to do it anyway. The truth is that the goddess Ishtar is offering this alignment task for you now. Trust that the wisdom in the universe will provide with perfect form, but in divine timing. This means you might have to wait for a while. Reconnect to your partnership with the goddess and trust that you will not be left behind. This connection is at the core of everything. Wow, I can see how all of those are sort of interweaved with one another, and a great story for you, right? A great message. All right, so that was for Marissa. Deb Johnson also wanted a goddess card. So let's see what the goddesses have in store for you, Deb Johnson. And then Ursula will be after Deb. Okay, they're jumping today. And for you, Deb Johnson, you get the goddess Epona. She is also in alignment, and her keywords here are wise leadership. Wise leadership. She looks beautiful, does she not? And let's see what the goddess Epona, 14. So she's a 5. Speaking to change, perhaps, or using freedom appropriately. Okay, the alignment message says, being overly assertive and determined to take action is not in your favor at this time. If you feel afraid of making a mistake or worried that you will somehow compromise yourself or disappoint someone else, consider this a time to regroup and assess the details. As the goddess Epona knows, not all paths are meant to be explored, not all battles are meant to be fought, not all opportunities will pan out. Beware of the tendency to overreach. You have come a long way, and the best leader knows when to take a break. Your task is to hold back and to breathe deeply, trusting fully that when the time comes to act, the goddess Epona will guide you. You don't want to act too soon out of fear and insecurity, or even by hubris, as you will surely slip and lose your stance. Take heart, for this is the perfect moment for a time out to see what the goddess Epona truly has for you. The divine has you safe and secure. You just need to wait. It's interesting because these messages all seem to dovetail with one another today, almost as if there's that, bright flashing light that says to be patient, to wait, right? To wait for the right moment, to respond to the right opportunities. So we see that in the cards everybody's getting. And of course, that is also a message for all of us, I think. Because we're all here together in this community today to hear these readings. Okay, Ursula Woto, Wisdom of the Oracle. And let's see what the wisdom is for you today, Doodah. Ooh, these want to get really mixed up apparently. And maybe yours is a totally different message then for us to hear. Come to the edge. I would say indeed that is a message that's different than from the others that we've heard this morning. Card 36. This is a 9. Come to the edge. An invitation to take a risk, I would say. So 36. Courage. Taking a leap of faith, overcoming fear, and accepting risk. Here's your message. Facing the unknown is the only choice you really have right now if you want to progress. It's okay to be afraid. Now is the time to take a risk that is not calculated, to feel the exhilaration as you ready yourself for a leap of faith. Spirit is present, so let go of fear. You are called to express your true self. Listen to your heart and soul, not your head. Come to the edge and discover that you can fly. You must step into the unfamiliar so that you may find your miracles. Ooh-wee, ooh-wee. Yes, well, Ursula, that was a very powerful message, and one completely different from the ones other people were seemingly getting this morning. Okay, so Debbie says, thank you. That makes sense. Have a great Memorial weekend, Sue. Sorry that we're missing you. Andrew, I love all your little emoticons there. Amy would love a card. I can do another one. Amy, my choice. Marissa says, thank you. Deb says, thank you. Be the observer. I love that. Okay. Now, oh, Tom, I'm sorry. I missed you. Tom, animal. Okay. Those are the last two. And, Amy, I'm feeling like a goddess card perhaps for you. Okay. So let's do it. This is for Amy. Amy. By the way, if you haven't checked it out yet, go to her YouTube channel, Amy Energy, and check out the readings she does. I listened to my Gemini reading the other day, and it was pretty fascinating, actually, so in depth and so detailed. Woohoo! Okay. Amy, you and I are talking later today too. So this is interesting because the card I pulled for you is Morrigan, and she is the card of death and magic. And that speaks to a change, right? A change, a transformation. She's a beautiful card. She's number 37, which is a 10, which is a 1, a new beginning. Let's see what she says for you. She came out upright. So it is an empowerment message. 37. Morgan. Consider your life a magical gift and your experience of it a beautiful opportunity to leave the world a better place. You give that gift back when death comes and ends your time on this plane. Experiences, relationships, projects, and even long-cherished dreams are all subject to the natural laws of death and the magic of the Celtic goddess Morrigan. Now is the time for you to let certain parts of your life die and recognize this process as something to celebrate as well as to mourn. Let go with love and gratitude. Leave your fears behind, for in death there is great magic, as nothing can ever be truly destroyed. From the ashes of the old, a new life and new dreams will come to be. Face this time of dying and death with love and courage. Be willing to be empty. Soon, the goddess Morrigan will fill you up with magic and a new world will be born for you. This is her gift for you when you surrender your resistance and allow things to be as they are. Woo! Wonderful. Okay, Tom wants an animal spirit card. Okay, I love our animal cards. So this is for you, Tom. An animal. And maybe this could even, be a totem for all of us as we walk through this new moon window. And we got dolphin spirit. It was upside down. Dolphin spirit says, this and that are true. Card number 20, which is a 2. Relationships maybe, duality maybe. And it was upside down. So let's take a look here at what that means. 20. Ooh, been too far. There we go. And it says, when you most want to be acknowledged as right, in quotes, and see other ways as wrong, in quotes, dolphin spirit appears as a reminder that the story of your suffering and righteousness is a little more complicated than you are admitting right now. Do you want to see things in black and white and be rigid in your ideas of what's correct and what is not? Release your rigidity and embrace the fluidity of life as you recognize the grays that remind you there are 2 sides to every story, an upside to each downside and a blessing in every challenge. What you think is wrong might end up being right for you. So let Dolphin Spirit soften your heart so that you make the best decision at this time, playing with the possibilities that present themselves. I think that's a great card for all of us, a reminder for all of us about duality, the two of everything. All right, guys. Well, let's see. Last comments and questions. Andrew says, ooh, Sarah, don't worry about doing a card reading for me. Hey, hold on here. I didn't see that you wanted one. Michael Watley, hello. I would love a WOTA card. All right, I'm just going to stay on for a moment. Who's Juno? Okay, hold here. I do have time. I can do a couple more. So I am going to do Sarah. Sarah, did you tell me what card you wanted? Doing a card reading. Have a great Memorial weekend. Okay, so I'm going to pull a goddess for you, Sarah. And then there was somebody else that asked for a reading, and I just lost you here. Juno. Juno. WOTO, please. So I'm going to put Juno. A WOTO. And someone else, Michael, there you are, Michael Watley, would like a WOTO. Okay, so let's do it. So, Sarah, even if you've logged off already, you can listen to this later. Maybe I'll text you and tell you I did a card reading for you after all. Goddess card for you. And you get White Buffalo Calf Woman. Wow, we have not seen her before. And here's what the card looks like. And hold on, let me back up a little bit. So White Buffalo Calf Woman. And at the bottom it says Reverence. She's a beautiful one. I'm excited about this one. We have not pulled her before. So let's read what we have for her. Here's your empowerment message. Now is the time to view your world through a lens of peace, harmony, and reconciliation, the domain of the Lakota goddess, White Buffalo Calf Woman. It's time to leave the right, wrong, good, bad, zero-sum game world behind and enter the space where you can find the sacred ground of sharing without guile and negotiating from a desire that everyone benefits. Love it? You will be so glad you did. Take a humble yet grounded approach to your life right now. Only good will come of it. The goddess White Buffalo Calf Woman supports this way of being in the world. Love that. Okay, good for you, Sarah. Juno, I'm not sure if you're new to us or not, but welcome if you are. And I can put the animal card away and get a WOTO for you. So changing decks. So, Juno, this is for you. Oh, you get a dropped card too, and it is TikTok. Somebody else had this card one day this week. TikTok is card number 30, and that's a 3, and it was right side up. So let's see what that means for you, or for all of us, because again, we're all here together. And TikTok speaks to timing, which was the theme of the earlier readings we were doing. TikTok says timelessness, divine timing, and immeasurable time. Here's your message. When humans created time, which is the key, when humans created time, everything changed and contracted. People have come to look at life in a linear way, imagining that the past is behind them and the future ahead of them. But what if that isn't true at all? What if everything, creativity, beauty, chaos, and order were happening now in a glorious timelessness? You have all the time in the world to co-create the life you desire. So release your agenda. Let go of your need to shape each moment to your expectations, knowing that what is yours will never be withheld from you. Miracles are here right now and always show up when you need them. Right on time. Love that card. Love that message. Okay, Michael Watley also wanted a Wisdom of the Oracle card. Let's see what we get for you. Love that card, Juno. Gosh. And because it's a second message of that for the week, I feel like it has meaning for all of us. And Michael, I see two cards that sort of jumped out here. What happened there? One is the Fates, card number 17. She fell out upright. And then By the Book, which is card number 11, that came out upside down. So let's see. These are cards we don't see very often. I know we have had the Fates before. I'm not sure if we've had By the Book before. The Fates fell out first. So card 17. Michael. Oops, that's 18. And she was right side up. Okay, so the Fates. Fate, karma, acceptance that there are things you cannot change, and knowing what those things are. The Oracle's message says, the Serenity Prayer sums up the meaning of this card. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. There are things in life you will never have control over. The conditions brought on by the evolution of the collective, by nature, and by your past experiences may be fated, preordained by spirit for a greater purpose you cannot understand in this lifetime. It may not be in your cards to understand why certain events occur, but you can accept the mystery and work with what those events and your current circumstances have to teach you. This is the wisdom contained in the Serenity Prayer. So card 11, By the Book, upside down. So this is a sort of a protection message now. The essential meaning of that card is abiding by social rules, conformity, respecting cultural or family customs, universal laws. And here's your message. Now is the time for a real change in consciousness as you are incited to revolt. Challenge the structures that are limiting authentic progress. It is not enough to rebel in small ways. This is a call to a revolution. Focus on what you really want to achieve, regardless of whether it feels so far outside the box that the established order may reject it. Genius, invention, and transformation are rarely comfortable and less likely to be accepted by the mainstream. It may be time for you to say no to the way of your group, take a stand, and make real changes. It could be that the structure of your inner world is alerting you to the need for a complete overhaul. This is the time for transformation, so let go of the fear of change. Your intuition will lead you through the darkness. There is no turning back now. Trust that light will dawn. Epiphanies will surely lead to miracles. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I just feel the power in that reading for you. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, so I hope all of those readings, those last three, were helpful for all of us. And let's see here, last messages. Perfect message. Amy says, be willing to be empty. Ursula, I'm looking at my Venus path and have 2 fear of the dark gene keys. So your cards underscore this. Woohoo, that's cool. Everybody thumbs up the video. Thank you, Amy, for reminding me to share that. Please, if you like this video, if you enjoy the work that I'm doing, please give me a thumbs up to the video. And if you haven't already yet, please reach down to the bottom here and hit subscribe. I would sincerely appreciate that. Laura says, thank you. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Indeed. And Juno says, yes, was right on time. Thank you. Am new to the chat, but have been a long-time listener. I appreciate all of your offerings. God bless. Same to you, my dear. And take care, everyone. Love and blessings. I am not sure yet what the weekend holds, and because it is a holiday weekend for us here in the US, I may not be with you on Monday. I haven't decided yet. Is that bad of me? I'm a Gemini, right? So I have to go with the flow. If I'm not here on Monday, I will try to put something up, at least in the Facebook page for guidance. But Monday looked to be like it was a good day anyway. A good day to stay home and stay close to family because the moon will have transitioned into Cancer on Monday. All right, everybody, take care. Have a great weekend. Much love to you all. See you then.